23 mind-blowing facts about one of the greatest NBA players of all time, Wilt Chamberlain. What's up, everybody? Jacob O'Neill here with Amateur Hour Sports, where we give you raw and unfiltered sporting content Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So if it is your first time here with me today, make sure you subscribe right now to stay up to date with all the future episodes coming your way very soon. Like I said, this video is 23 what the fuck facts about the enigma, the inhuman Wilt Chamberlain. He spent 14 seasons in the NBA where he became a Hall of Famer, a 2-time NBA champion, a 13-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, a 4-time MVP, an 11-time rebound champ, a 7-time scoring champ, as well as a 1-time assist champ. So let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. Here we go. Number 1. Wilt Chamberlain attended the University of Kansas, where in his junior year, they lost the college national championship, though Wilt Chamberlain was the MVP of that tournament. He decided to skip out on his senior year to join the Harlem Globetrotters for a year before going to the NBA. The reason he went to the Globetrotters instead of the NBA was because, well, at the Harlem Globetrotters, he made $65,000 that year, and the average NBA salary at the time was only $10,000. In fact, Wilt Chamberlain wrote an article for a magazine explaining why he skipped out on his senior year of college, and the magazine company paid him $10,000 to write it. So he made the average NBA player's salary in a year by writing a simple magazine article. Number 2, though Wilt Chamberlain played basketball at the University of Kansas, he also was on the track team at the university. After the track coach asked the basketball coach if Wilt was allowed to be on the track team as well as the basketball team. The basketball coach said it was allowed, but since Wilt had no training in track and field, he wouldn't be competitive. Wilt disagreed with this statement and still went out to the track practice where he recorded a better high jump than all of the high jump athletes at the university without any prior training. Wilt would go on to three-peat as the Big 8 high jump champion. He also ran the 100-yard dash in 10.9 seconds and could throw a 16-pound shot put stone 56 feet. And that is only the beginning for the multi-sport athlete. Number 3, in Wilt Chamberlain's 1 year with the Harlem Globetrotters, he played in the 9 games in the USSR at sold-out Lenin stadiums. It is said that Wilt and the Globetrotters were a piece in the encouragement of the betterment of the relationship between the US and the USSR. The team even got the chance to meet the premier of the USSR during their visit. Number 4, even in his rookie year, Wilt Chamberlain signed a $30,000 contract, making him the highest paid player in NBA history. In that rookie season, he went on to win Rookie of the Year, MVP, and All-Star Game MVP as a rookie. Number 5, in the 1961-62 season, Wilt Chamberlain averaged a mind-boggling 50.4 points and 25.7 rebounds. He did this while averaging 48.5 minutes per game. And yes, NBA games, 48 minutes. Wilt Chamberlain played in 5 overtimes, 2 double overtimes, and a triple overtime. And in this triple overtime game, he played 63 minutes in order to average more minutes per game than an NBA game actually lasts. He virtually played every minute of every single game. In fact, over his entire career, he never averaged under 42 minutes per game. Even in his final season, when he was 36 years old, he still played over 43 minutes a game. Number 6, throughout the entirety of Wilt Chamberlain's career, blocks were not a recorded stat. But through old footage of Wilt Chamberlain's games, it is said that in the 112 games that you can actually count the block stat, he averaged 8.8 blocks per game, the highest blocks per game stat in a single season in NBA history is 5.56 by Mark Eaton. It is safe to say that Wilt Chamberlain would have absolutely obliterated that record, and that record would never exist. Hakeem Olajuwon has the most blocks in NBA history was 3,830. Wilt only needed to average 3.7 blocks per game in his entire career to beat that Hakeem Olajuwon record. It is safe to say that Wilt Chamberlain would have by far the most blocks in NBA history. Not even close. Number 7. In his 1991 autobiography, Wilt Chamberlain claimed to have slept with 20,000 different women. From the time Wilt Chamberlain was 15 until the day that the biography came out, he would have had to have slept with 1.2 women per day to reach that 20,000 mark that he said he hit. For some reason, I believe him. He did later concede, however, that having one woman 1,000 times would have been much more fruitful than having 20,000 women once. Comment down below if you think Wilt Chamberlain actually slept with 20,000 different women. Number 8. In his prime, Shaquille O'Neal could bench press 450 pounds. It is said that Wilt Chamberlain could bench over 500 pounds. And when Wilt Chamberlain was 59 years old, he could bench press 465 pounds, which is more than Shaquille O'Neal ever benched in his entire career. Number 9. Wilt Chamberlain and Arnold Schwarzenegger were actually great friends, and Arnold claims that Wilt Chamberlain is the strongest person he has ever met in his life. Schwarzenegger claims that the strongest men that he knows do tricep extensions with 120 pounds, but Wilt Chamberlain could do it with 170 pounds. Number 10. A lot of people make the claim that Bill Russell is better than Wilt Chamberlain because of the amount of championships that Bill Russell won in that era. But the fact of the matter is that Bill Russell had 7 Hall of Fame teammates, where Wilt Chamberlain didn't have any. Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell played against each other a reported 142 times in their careers. In those games, Wilt Chamberlain averaged a whopping 28.7 points and 28.7 rebounds, whereas Bill Russell averaged 23.7 points and only 14.5 rebounds. You tell me who got the better of who. Number 11. Wilt Chamberlain holds the NBA record for most rebounds in a game with 55. He achieved this feat on November 24th, 1960 against the Boston Celtics. With who at center? You guessed it, Bill Russell. Number 12. Wilt Chamberlain did not get a lick of sleep the night before he put up 100 points. He was out partying in New York until 6 a.m. the night before the game and got on his train from New York to Philadelphia at 8 a.m. to make it to the game in time. If a hungover Wilt Chamberlain could put up 100 points, you tell me how much a completely sober Wilt Chamberlain could put up. That night, without a minute of sleep, Wilt Chamberlain put up probably the most unachievable record in NBA history. Kobe Bryant is the only guy who is even remotely close with 81 points. But again, that's not that close, is it? Number 13. Why was Wilt Chamberlain in New York the night before a game in Philadelphia? Well, when Wilt Chamberlain played in Philly, he preferred the New York City nightlife. So he made the 2-hour commute by train every time he had to be in Philadelphia for a practice or a game. This man is a complete enigma. Number 14. In his prime, Wilt Chamberlain claims he had a 48-inch vertical. To put that in perspective, Michael Jordan's vertical at its best was 46 inches. LeBron James at his best, 44 inches. Wilt Chamberlain is 7'1", people. Wilt could easily touch the top of the backboard. Number 15. A reputable source claims that Wilt Chamberlain ran a 4.4 second 40-yard dash. If that wasn't impressive enough, he ran this 40-yard dash wearing dress shoes. I wish I could run a 5-second 40-yard dash in running shoes. Number 16. At 10 years old, Wilt Chamberlain was already 6 feet tall, and by high school, he could palm a basketball in both hands, only using his thumbs and his middle fingers. Number 17. Hall of Fame NFL football coach Hank Stram claims that Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest wide receiver he has ever seen in his life, ahead of Jerry Rice, notoriously known as the greatest wide receiver of all time. The combination of his insane vertical, his insane 40-yard dash time, and his ridiculously sized hands, Wilt Chamberlain was an absolute specimen on the football field as well. Hank Stram legitimately wanted to sign Wilt Chamberlain to the Kansas City Chiefs, especially after he saw Wilt Chamberlain beat their starting running back in a sprint. Why didn't he sign him? Because Wilt Chamberlain wanted to play quarterback and had no interest in playing at wide receiver. Number 18. It was Wilt Chamberlain's dream, or one of them at least, to be world heavyweight boxing champion. And he even had a fight set up against Muhammad Ali. The contracts were drawn up. Both Muhammad Ali and Wilt Chamberlain agreed to the fight. But after Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier in the fight that was supposed to be before the Wilt Chamberlain fight, there was no longer a title to fight for, and Wilt Chamberlain pulled out of what would have been more money from the fight than he had made in his entire NBA career. Number 19. Despite being a tenacious defender and having nearly 48-minute nights, Wilt Chamberlain never fouled out of a game in his entire NBA career. Number 20. In the NBA, shooters used to be able to cross the free throw line after they shot the ball, but this rule was changed because Wilt Chamberlain used to always alley-oop himself off the backboard for 2 easy points instead of the simple free throw. The NBA was forced to change that rule because Wilt Chamberlain was unstoppable. Number 21. Another rule change as a result of Wilt Chamberlain's dominance. You used to be able to throw the ball over the backboard on an inbound play, but Wilt's teammates just alley-ooped the ball to Wilt Chamberlain, and the NBA was forced to change that rule. Number 22. Wilt Chamberlain holds the record for the most 30-point, 30-rebound games in NBA history with 124. Every other player in NBA history combined have a total of 32 30-point, 30-rebound games. Wilt Chamberlain on his own has 124. Number 23. Last but not least, and maybe one of the most ridiculous facts on this list. When Wilt Chamberlain retired from the NBA in 1974, he became a board member of the International Volleyball Association and a player. He was named to the IVA All-Star Game in 1975, and because of Wilt's popularity, the game was even televised. Wilt Chamberlain was the All-Star MVP of that game. The league folded in 1979, but Wilt Chamberlain eventually went on to be inducted into the Volleyball Hall of Fame, becoming an extremely rare case where you are inducted into the Hall of Fame for 2 different sports. I want to know who Wilt Chamberlain's parents are. I want to know what lab he was made in. I want to know from what planet he was sent down to Earth was, because these are absolutely inhuman figures. This guy was an absolute enigma. It is completely inexplicable the feats, the numbers, and achievements that this one man pulled off in his entire life. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to like it and also subscribe to Amateur Hour Sports because we post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Also, don't forget to hit that bell just below so that you never miss an episode. Thank you for watching again. We'll see you again next time.